you read the paper, there is a whole lot of things on how they chose the sample to have a good stratified sample, and put some assessments to them, which was a simple validator instrument, which is an objective instrument where you, so generally recruiters look at biodata, but as some of the people who are talking here, can you objectivize and say that, have a variable saying that is it from a tier 1 city or a tier 2 city, so on and so forth. So creating objective parameters out of the biodata. A mental aptitude test, which was like an attention to detail test, plus a logical ability test, and a personality test, which were measuring social competence, self-motivation, stress resistance, and conscientiousness. As a relation between what two managers are saying. So they use this subjective form to get these people rated, and that's what they use as an output, to see whether there's a correlation with assessment with the output or not. And another interesting thing was a control test environment. So when we do so interestingly, they did the study in two parts. They first did the testing with these people, and they had some issues with the reliability of the test. So what they learned when they were doing the validation study, the test was just pushed to the people. They were taking it on any time of the day. They just had to finish it up, and people were not taking the test seriously. So next time when they did the study with all the people, they said that, set 20 minutes apart, take them off their PC to another training room where the test is taken seriously. These are all small things which help you establish or not establish a correlation, right? So it might be that the test really works, but it was not delivered in the right condition. And then they got a correlation. So they got correlation not with all. They got a correlation with mental aptitude. They got a correlation with two of the personality traits, which is conscientiousness and social competence. Conscientiousness is the general idea of being organized, self-motivated, orderly, self-disciplined, who would like to finish their work in time. People who are very, very high on conscientiousness can become a fool. So that's a sketch of an example. And social competence is more, are you a people's person or not? That's the range we are looking at. But it's coming more than, I remember that once we were doing a validation study for a corporate, and it happened to be that Nitin Moria, now the Dean of Harvard and who has a psychometric background, he was the advisor to that corporate. And we somehow pulled out a figure of 0.55 on a personality instrument. And his first reaction was, this is wrong, it can't be so high. Right? So anyone who understands psychometric assessment would say that you get somewhere from 0.25 to 0.45. And I'll show you in the next slide why that is satisfactory, why that's good enough. You can't expect more than that. So this is the first study which I wanted to do, and I'll tell you correctly now the most scientifically validated inventory which anyone and everyone in the academic fields, not as much in the industry. The industries somehow got stuck with the MBTIs and the 16 Ps just due to their historical reasons. They use a big file inventory. Now they have two criteria. One was the objective converter rate. So what these people have to do is they have to call people and convince them to participate in a research design which would take 20 minutes of their time. They were just seeing how many were they able to convince and see if they can establish a correlation with that. And the other, as I said, was the training performance. Again, if you see what came out of the study, the performance correlation they had with conscientiousness, agreeableness, and emotional stability. Where conscientiousness is basically, again, I've already described it. Agreeableness is being warm, being polite, being gentle, and emotional stability is being able to work under stress and not worried out. Just look at the correlation figures: 0.21, 0.19. 0.15. That's what you expect with an objective rating. Look at the training correlation, and this is to some point of a gentleman here that they could see correlation with training but not see it with end point. Training is much higher. Openness to experience is 0.39. Emotional stability is 0.26. All numbers are pretty much higher than your objective performance rating. Right? And so that's what you generally expect. So what is the study? This is what the author said is the output, is the learning from the study. It says that again with this low correlation, what have we said? It says provides support for the validity of personality for selecting employees into this outbound call center. Now again to the second point, which is echoed by a lot of people here. Objective performance data can be affected by a number of factors in the environment that are out of control of the incumbent. Future studies in outbound call center environments might want to include supervisor or peer performance ratings that capture a broader range of relevant performance factors. as far as literature is concerned, there's pretty much consensus that if you're using objective ratings, you will not be able to establish a correlation. It can be one of the inputs, but together with that, what you really need to do is you need to get a manager rating formula with an inventory which is built, understanding what is required in the job, and it can be made quite objective. Like, there are two ways of asking a question. So one way of asking a question is the guy punctual? Right? And you say rate him to high to low. This is a very, very subjective question. Another way of asking the same question is, does this guy take more than one leave a month? Or how many leaves does this person take a month? Right? That's an objective way of asking the same question. So when you build your rating form, it can be built much more objectively, and it doesn't, take a lot of biases which come in objective rating. We were working with a sales organization trying to establish a correlation. When they said establish it with the objective target achievement. Now people are working over hundreds of territories. One territory is harder than the other. Your target setting is based on the target you achieved last year, which correlates across jobs with performance. So, with this slide, I just wanted to address the question that there's enough literature on saying that assessments can predict performance, both training and on-floor performance, but the study has to be constructed in a proper way to show that ROI to the company. I wanted to, after building a paper personality, a lot of people, they get tired of personality. Think that why do you do personality tests? They don't work. Now, where is this rooted? Someone was talking about a change management issue. There's a change management issue here, if you look at the research literature. Till the 90s, the evidence in the research literature was that personality tests don't work. Right? Someone called it the dark days of personality assessment. So even when you look at academicians till the 80s, they will be saying, no, we can't establish a correlation. Right? And it changed, after the mid-80s, that this big five model came out, which emerged as one constant model, which was scientifically and academically validated. Everyone who did a study found that this model was coming right. And then there was this similar paper in 91, which was written by two researchers called Tarek and Mount, who did a meta-analysis. What is a meta-analysis? They looked at studies in the last 10 years on who all had used the big five to predict performance in corporates. And what they came out was that across all these studies, they could see that conscientiousness correlates to job performance, extroversion and agreeableness. Extroversion is your usual extrovert, agreeableness is your politeness, would correlate to jobs which have people interaction. And after that paper came out, pretty much the jury was out that yes, assessments work and can predict, and if you go by the big five model, that thing was established. Right? So when we hear a lot of personality tests don't work, it's kind of a baggage of the 80s, which changed a lot in the 90s when we started seeing very strong correlation with personality measures. So, just learning from what I've talked about quickly was what do you do right in assessment analytics when you're trying to establish ROI of assessments beyond just using it as a filter? What to test on? Use both aptitude and personality instruments. Again, there's people sometimes look at English logical quant from a disparaging, not English logical quant, it's just a filter. Again, if you look at literature, why did people start using English logical quant? Because there have been studies both in the USA and the Europe which show that there are a correlation between 0.4 to 0.6 with job performance. And these are meta-analyses which are pretty much established. I can share papers about it. There's no doubt. So it's not that it was someone's thing that just let's use English logical quant. And when we do a lot of work with companies when we're trying, before even they start using our assessments, to establish value. And we run it on incumbents, the assessment instruments. And it's generally a good idea to try to use a superset of parameters at that time. Use reasonable number of assessments to see which one works and which doesn't. So both use assessment and personality instruments at that point of time, and then you can pick and choose. If you can't establish a correlation, then you don't pick it. And if you can, pick it. 30 is not a good sample size. In all the studies I showed you, it was more than 100. Somehow this thing has gone out by the marketing guys that 30 is a good sample size. If you see it from a theoretical perspective, it is that the variance in a bell curve process stabilizes if you have 50 samples. That is nothing. nothing to do with the way we benchmark. And why I put it up here is that this is sometimes the opposition you get from business. Just do it on 30 people. I can't waste time on money. Right? Then you have to go back and say, no, 30 is not a good time. You won't see anything. Use a homogeneous sample. Control testing environment is important. If the test is not taken seriously, you will not again establish a correlation. Please use manager rating form. Only objective performance as given by the target achievement is not good enough as a measure. Use that as well. Use a rating form which is being filled by manager. If you can get it filled by 2 managers, it's good. There were talks about when do you get it filled. That's another question. Some things may show, some parameters may show higher correlation with training performance. Some may show 1 year down the line. 2 years down the line, many times if you don't have a competency-based test as was being spoken here, no parameters show a correlation. With training you would see more cognitives and personality becomes more important, and then there's more high level competencies which become important. Don't expect very high correlations. And this is something, so one simple thing which we could do in our text is that when we show the correlation, we also put international studies saying that this is the correlation you can expect. But why is that correlation good enough? What does that correlation mean for your organization? So I've just taken an example here. This correlation is a very, very funny figure because you see 0.27, what does it mean? Right? What business case do you make by saying 0.27? What's the ROI? So let's say that, I'm just showing a sample here, if the R is 0.27 and I put a filter that I only allow people with conscientious business score more than -0.5, what can you see in your organization? This is what you can see in your organization. The performance will go from 34.6% to 48.3%. And your low performance will go from 65.4 to 51.7. We have found this meter representation as much more understandable than saying a correlation of 0.27. What you're saying is that if there's a correlation of 0.27 and I put a benchmark on the test score, saying that I only interview people about this score, what kind of organizational efficiency can I see? I think that's where you can now tie it up with your ROI calculation. That is, this is the cost of the employee, this is the productivity, this much is the increase in the productivity, and that's the output. So the idea is like look beyond correlation in something simple which the business can understand and which tries to make an ROI case per se. That's you need to continue to track, improve, and incorporate. So I had a quick slide. Is your organization talent analytics ready? Do you record biodata and assessment data objectively for all people who come into your organization, both who you don't hire and who you hire, because there's always this doubt, lingering doubt of type 2 error. You want to see that when we do validation studies, one is that I can increase my high performance, but the other question is that if this is the benchmark, if I was using a higher benchmark before this, can I get more people into the pipe? Right? Do you have objective training goals which are scored for each new hire? Do you have monthly performance data capturing, which pretty much everyone has, but also something subjective which is coming from the manager on a quarterly basis, which helps you build the idea. The last point which I have highlighted, I think, are the important ones. Does your hiring, training, and performance MIS talk? This is one problem which we face with a lot of organizations. So there's a hiring MIS, which is all the information on hiring, there's training, but just plugging it becomes a more Herculean task, putting them all together than anything else. So if it is in the process, in the system they are connected, that can be very, very helpful or not helpful, because it works both ways. As soon as it becomes a transparent system, people will see if it is working or not. But to achieve that goal, you need to connect them. And this is just are you willing to spend less than 220 employee hours for one as an investment for better organizational efficiency? And how it came to this 220 number was 100 people who take a 2-hour test, and there are 100 managers who fill a 20-minute survey. So that's the investment to do a validation per se, to see that if you will run a test instrument, what are the right parameters and where to set the cutoff so that the graph which you saw can improve organizational efficiency. So my understanding of the literature is that assessment scores are a primary input for deriving value out of talent analytics. There's enough global studies to say that there is evidence to it. It has to be done in the right way to find out that value and establish that. And I just thought I would end it with a small cartoon strip. Analytics can do such things. So someone could come and say that September data shows that we didn't hire good people in September. It's not but he was hired in September. So that's the risk.
Thank you.